Hey guys, today I want to take you through a typical day in the life of a summer holiday for me. And basically I wake up in the morning at 5, or at least I try to go to the field to play soccer, to train, to do sports. And then I come back to my place and have breakfast. And depending on whether I have people meeting up with me that day, now that I'm more free, I'm trying to meet up with friends, with like old classmates, teachers, and a lot. So depending on whether I have an arrangement that day, I'll either be doing that or I'll be getting up to some work, be that like making these videos, studying, catching up, because my grades, you don't know, in the last semester, absolutely, I don't want to talk about it. So I'm trying to catch up on my studies, and at night I stretch, I watch YouTube, I probably get up to some gaming as well with my sis, and that's basically it. Today though is one of those days where I have an appointment with people. So in a minute I'll be going out to the park, to the field, to play soccer with a few of my secondary school friends, and I'll take it lightly because my knee really can't go through any strenuous training. I was gonna film myself getting up to some work for a bit, but it's already 11:39 and I'm meeting up with the boys at 12:45, and I want to get an upper body core rehab workout in before I meet up with them. So if you're wondering what I'm studying, I'm doing some German. I've been taking German courses at my school for the past year, and I'm really struggling with it because I haven't been studying all that well. And so I'm using Anki, a flashcard app that Ali Abdel has a Skillshare online class on. So you should probably go check out that as well, because I'm taking this course and using Anki, trying to learn how to use Anki to help me out with my grades. But since I'm kind of in a bit of a hurry right now, I don't think I'm gonna film any studying stuff, so I'm just gonna get my workout done and go meet up with the lads. So let's get it. So this is a pitch. I wake up at 5 and get to here at 6 to play at. And guess who's already here? Sup, Mitch?
Sup?
So this is Mitchell, my secondary school mate. And he's been to the US to study whatever. Tell them about yourself, maybe.
So hey, my name is Mitchell. I'm from Wine College, Calvin originally. I've been at St. John's University in the United States of America, in the state of Minnesota, which is incredibly cold in winter. It reaches like, I don't know,
You miss the weather here.
No. It's way too hot here. It's way too hot here.
It's 31 degrees today.
It's terrible.
It's boiling hot. But I guess I'd rather play in, I don't know. I really don't know. Like I haven't experienced like the cold weather there, so it's hard to say.
It's bad.
It's bad, yeah.
Like minus 30?
So yeah, Mitch has been playing soccer since I don't know when.
One, I think.
Yeah, so he's a school team member. I'm not. Like back in YN. So he's good. He's good. So he'll be taking it easy on me today though. Yeah, because I got this knee injury thing. So
well, don't worry.
Yeah. Okay. So Mitchell actually forgot to talk about. He did debate. Actually, he did debating with me for 4 years. Yeah, for 4-ish years. So yeah, he's a debater. I completely forgot to talk about it, and he did as well. So I was thinking maybe he could, share some of his journey, basically. Maybe some tips about public speaking, how he got into public speaking, and how to improve English in general, I guess, because I guess a lot of you are interested in this sort of stuff. So yeah, I'll let him talk.
Well, to start, my journey began when I was quite young, probably at the age of 5 or 6, probably. My parents applied for an English speaking school here in Hong Kong called ABC Pathway School. I don't know if it still exists right now. Maybe they changed the name, but I don't know. So that's how I got into English early on, because my dad said it's important to have to be bilingual, basically, to fit into the modern world. So that's where my English journey began. And then throughout primary school, my teacher signed me up to do different public speaking competitions here in Hong Kong. So it was basically like reciting poems. Reciting poems in different
Speech festivals.
Yeah, speech festivals. Yes.
Yeah.
So going outside built up some of the confidence throughout like primary 4 to 6, probably around that time. And then starting in secondary school, again, my English teachers convinced me to go out and do speech festival competitions again, and that's where it kept going. But then debating wise, it was, I think, late secondary one, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I met Mitchell when we went to Diocesan Girls' School for this public speaking competition. I don't know if you still
Oh
recall.
yeah, that one. Yeah.
That was the first time I met you.
Oh, that was.
And we took that picture in front of DGS with Matthew. That was a classic.
Oh, God. Oh,
Miss Lowe, if you're watching this, drop a like.
Oh, that suit was terrible.
Yeah.
It was like a checkered purple shirt. Oh God. It's one of the worst decisions of my life. The competition was quite nice. It gave me a lot of exposure to like impromptu speeches and also different prepared speeches, and gave me a chance to see different speakers from Hong Kong, whether they're native or from outside of Hong Kong. It just opened my eyes a lot to the public speaking scene. I'm sure it did for you as well.
Yeah, it did. And then that was when you started getting into debating. After that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I started to do competitions for I BA College Kowloon with, I think it was you and Noddy?
Noddy and Jason Chang, like
Chang.
both the big one and the small one.
Franco Lau as well.
Yeah.
Like we just went to made up different teams and just sort of went to different competitions.
I think our highlight must be our win at the junior school debating competition, JSDC.
Oh yeah.
That's basically the biggest debating competition in Hong Kong. I think aside from Tsingtao.
Tsingtao's I think
The
is
big-
it for Chinese? Tsingtao?
I'm not exactly sure, but I know like Royston and Keith, they've got second. Yeah. But aside from Tsingtao, I believe like that must be one of the biggest competitions.
Yeah.
So in secondary 3, we won that. Although you didn't join the finals because you had to go to a soccer match for YN. So yeah,
One still, so
one still. Yeah.
I was still on the journey to the finals, so
Yeah.
I helped.
Of course he helped out. If he wasn't there like in the preliminary, all the rounds beforehand, then we wouldn't have made the finals. But then after that, we got into BP debating.
Oh yeah.
British
Parliament?
Parliamentary.
Yeah.
British parliamentary debating, which was vastly
Very
different from traditional like 3 versus 3 debating.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was like
4 corners, I think.
there were like 4 teams in 4 corners.
Opening proposition, I think, and then opening opposition,
And then
closing and
closing proposition, closing opposition, and then like two in a team, and then Mitchell and I, we got absolutely smashed in 2 competitions. No, one was like this training camp at LaSalle College.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was terrible. That was one of the worst days I had in my life.
It was so weird. Like it was a totally different type of debating, because the first one, which is opening proposition, we basically have 15 minutes to prepare like a 7-minute speech.
Yeah, I think at the time 7 minutes was
A bit far for our skill level.
yeah. At the time we weren't good enough for like 7 minutes.
Definitely not.
Yeah, so we struggled.
And it was 7 minutes each. It
Yeah.
was 7-minute speech each. So imagine that, but only 50 minutes for the first one.
Yeah.
And it was easier for opposition because no matter what order, like no matter if you were opening or closing, you would have a lot more time. Because you would have at least half an hour to prepare your speech.
Yeah.
And you had way more material as well. Because you could listen to the opening proposition and just counter the point.
But then I think after that was the end. You could call it. I guess you could call it the end of at least our secondary school debating career. That was the end. After that, we we sort of went our separate ways. Like I kept on swimming, Mitchell did soccer, and yeah, we didn't do debating afterwards. And then of course our studies, so we left it there.
Yeah, that was a weird end. Not the best, but.
And you also actually did MUN, Model United Nations.
Yes, I went to one of the HKMUN conferences with Elgin, I believe. It was weird because I've never done MUN before, and it was.
How did you find it the first time?
Intimidating, honestly. There were a lot of good speakers there on that day in my conference, and on top of that, there was a little mix-up between Wang College Kowloon and Hong Kong YN.
Why Hong Kong?
The organizers thought we were the same school, so our country actually went to YN Hong Kong's team member, who was, I think, some kid called Justin, I think, something like that.
Right.
So our thing just went to him. We got isolated. But whereas before the conference started, we were supposed to prepare stuff from the United States. So you can imagine going from a big country like the US to a small country like Iceland.
Right.
So there was so much to change, and I didn't even speak that much.
Oh, that must be an unforgettable first time.
Yes. Oh, that was. Oh. And the other one I went to was a smaller competition. It was just I forgot the name of it, but it was just a couple schools, a couple kids, and then we just had a conference in like a classroom sort of thing. It was too far away. It was in Tinshui, I think, which is like an hour away from any nearest city, I think.
So, in university, unfortunately, you haven't joined any like debating, public speaking, whatever English-related thing.
I would love to, but the school just doesn't offer those kind of opportunities for us. So it's a shame, but
yeah. But you still have it in you.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
So, what would you say is your? Because I think a lot of the viewers, or not only my viewers, but like a lot of people in general, like they struggled with be it English or public speaking. How about like both? What is your biggest tip for like learning English? Because a lot of people see it as like this huge obstacle in the way acquiring the language. And then the second thing, your biggest tip for like public speaking.
So for languages, whether it's English or foreign language like Spanish or German or French, it's important to not be afraid to make mistakes when you do it, because you could pronounce it wrong, or you could use the grammar wrong, or you could do a lot of things wrong in language. But the most important thing is to keep making mistakes so you know where to improve and where to work on. That way you can improve your skills faster instead of like you trying to learn it perfectly and then speaking it perfectly. Because practice speaks perfect, obviously.
Yeah.
So you just need to keep going. And as myself, I've been learning Spanish a lot recently in my university. So it's just to keep going, basically. And keep your eyes on like smaller targets and goals. So you can learn, like, for example, you can learn numbers first, or the alphabet first, or some simple phrases just to keep you started. And then over time, you get more experience. And of course, you need to use more of that language. So you can try to talk to people, or you could watch videos about it just to keep up your listening and stuff like that. And public speaking wise, I think it's important to not get intimidated at first, because in your first couple competitions or like practice things, you could get intimidated by the level of speakers around you. But it's important to be humble and try to learn from them and not view them as opponents or enemies. Instead, you should treat them as mentors or teachers. Try to accumulate more of the skills they have and the experience they have from their competitions as well.
Is there like one show or book or any like thing you would recommend to people? Like I guess for English. Like for myself, it would be, I guess, Snoopy. That was what I started with.
Okay.
Snoopy, you've heard my journey, but like, what is your one big thing you would recommend to like English learners? Like movie shows or videos or books. Like how did you get into?
I started with different cartoons on the channel Cartoon Network.
Yeah, Ben 10.
Yes.
That was right.
Like, it's important to find shows or cartoons or anything that fit your interests so you can learn while you enjoy yourself. Because if you find something which is like, I don't know, if you don't like sports and you find a sport documentary, it's going to be really boring. You're not going to be focused on trying to learn different words and stuff. But if you are a sports fan and you find something sport related, it's very beneficial because one, you actually pay attention to the show you're watching, and two, you're learning stuff that you otherwise wouldn't really learn from any other place.
So finding your interest, I guess.
Yes, that's very important. To keep yourself motivated and also to make the journey more interesting. Otherwise, it's going to get boring.
I guess one last question would be, because since you're studying abroad, I guess a lot of us, we study locally. So, and I'm sure like people would want to go overseas, myself included. So what is like your biggest tip for like people who are about to go overseas for university, secondary school, or probably working?
I would say welcome it with open arms. Don't be scared of the thing you're going into because yes, it's a new place. Yes, you're going to meet new people and new things. But if you keep an open mind and go into it with full confidence, you're going to be able to adapt really quickly. And if you talk to more people, you can eventually expand your friend circle. So you get to know more people and also you get more comfortable with yourself there as well. And also, don't be afraid to do different activities there. Like if you enjoy football or soccer, then try and find some friends with people that play that. And you can make friends with them, and then over time, you learn about more people who play that same thing with you, and you get more people, and so on and so on, and then you form a really big bubble around yourself, and that's how you get more comfortable. Or if you're into gaming, where you kind of stay in your room a lot, it's fine because I game as well, but you could also find some people who play the same game as you, maybe like Fortnite or Call of Duty, any multiplayer games. Try and contact them and see if there's like a club at your school, maybe, because there's like a League of Legends club at my school.
Wow, gaming club.
So yeah, just try to reach out to more people and talk to more people, and over time you'll get more comfortable with it.
Yeah, I think I learned a lot from his sharing as well. So I think you must like take notes and jot down notes and rewatch the whole thing. Like take down some notes. Hopefully you learn something. But thanks for the making the video.
No problem. It was an honor.
Good, great. Woo! Probably best speaker on my video. Miss the food in Hong Kong?
Yes.
What's the food like in the US? Fries, chips?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mostly. And pasta.
Fries, chips, pasta, Coke, every day.
Yep.
Yeah. So these must be delicious.
Oh yes, for sure. I miss the rice, man. I miss the rice.
So I'm back on with these guys right now, and the guys just left. Mitchell actually, because I keep calling him Mitch because one of my friends called him Mitch, so that's why I keep calling him Mitch for Mitchell. He forgot to mention we actually went to Thailand 5 years ago, so when we were in secondary 3, for this thing called the World Scholars Cup, where we got these guys. We took them home, Alpaca, that's what they're called, Alpaca Jerry. And I saw this in his phone's photo album, so I suddenly remembered. I was like, hey, you forgot to talk about this during our little mini interview. So it was basically this competition that composed of public speaking, debating, writing, and team question and answer thing. So he and I, we really went way back. So it was nice to have a chat with him. As you know, he's studying in the US and he'll be going back there in August. And we'll be meeting him again soon to have another nice chat before he leaves for the US. And also check out Tommy's channel. Well, he and a couple of my other YN friends, because all of the people you saw today in this video are from my secondary school, YN College Kowloon. We were schoolmates back then. So Tommy's the cameraman for that channel, so go check out their stuff. And aside from that, that's it for this one. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Hi guys, peace.